Yeah, but I don't want people to be like listening.
We're recording now.
Oh. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
We have rapidly approached the end of February, and we looked at ourselves and said, "Selves, we need to do a recording."
It seems like it's been kind of a busy February.
It has, and if you were to ask what happened, I could tell you a few things.
Well, one of the best things is Greg Smith just came and went, and that was a delight to see him for 4 days.
So that's our friend, for anybody who doesn't know who Greg Smith is. I also published my book as a paperback, so that happened on 02/20/2020. So that was pretty exciting. And so now we find ourselves at the end of the month, and thought about a topic to talk about, which is, I kind of throw this out here, and I'm curious to hear what you, Lex, think about these terms, synthesis, and the idea of what's inside is being reflected outwardly.
Yeah, I think that's a really good starting off point, because when you brought this suggestion up to the table, it's like, when I think of synthesis, which is, that word pleases me just because it's a cool word.
So it's very important to make sure that's in the thing.
Well,
yes.
Anybody who knows me knows
Yes.
that I love the actual words itself, and certain words delight. Anyway, synthesis being the mixture or amalgamation or collection or integration of something to create a cohesive whole. Whether that's a synthesis of recipes, synthesizing a bunch of recipes to make a cookbook, you know. So when you were talking about what's going on inside being reflected out, it comes to my mind that would be like a synthesis or integration or synthesis of all of our different parts being true or transparent to each other, so that there isn't, so that you don't have fractured or fragmented different bits and pieces. It's kind of synthesizing all of those wonderful different pieces into a presentable whole.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
I mean, presentable is kind of a value.
I know what you
word,
meant,
but
it's not what you mean. It's it's what you mean is more of what's seen, and not presentable.
Right.
It's like what's actually
what's
actually
there.
being presented.
Right.
Yeah.
Presented.
I thought about those concepts. I think in particular. Now, one phrase that really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, or maybe not make a whole lot of sense, but didn't resonate with me, but now resonates with me a lot, is also that I think it might be a song. Come as you are, or don't come or don't come at all. Isn't that a song?
Well, there's the Nirvana song,
Oh.
Come As You Are.
Yeah.
That's not, or don't come at all, I don't think. That's the rest of the words. But.
Oh, well, maybe it's not. It's a song that I'm familiar with, or maybe it's not a song. I don't know. Lex is now
Carry on.
consulting the Miss Google to see if that's the thing. But I think the idea is that in order to, operate here in this matrix that we're in, if you are just who you are, then that's just fine. I think that and all of your parts, whatever parts those are, those have value to the greater good and to the collective. And I think it becomes problematic when people feel like they can't do that, that they can only show pieces of themselves because the other pieces won't be accepted, or they'll be made fun of, or a variety.
Or the people don't think that those other pieces have value,
Correct.
so they trim them back or they hold them back.
Yes.
When
exactly.
really to synthesize all of the multi, I talk about in my thoughts the multifaceted diamond, with all of the facets of a diamond is what makes it shine, what
Right.
makes the sparkle, what makes it interesting.
It's not just one-sided. There are
No.
many different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what really makes it brilliant. And so I think in that sense, we can look at that with people in their different aspects or the different, aspects of a person, of ourself or somebody else's self.
Yeah, and I think along with that thought, I also think about acceptance, and first thing is that I think you have to accept who you are before that translates to other people, and I think that again is kind of like the inside being reflected outwardly to on a grander scale. So the individual then being reflected out into the community, if that makes
Say
any
that
sense.
again.
Which part?
You were talking about like the reflected.
If you are not accepting of yourself, I think
Yes,
it's hard.
okay.
It's hard for you. It
Has
how
to
can you
start.
accept?
It has to start with self-acceptance.
Exactly. How can that translate to other people? I mean,
Right. I see what you're saying.
It just doesn't flow. So,
Well, and I think when you start with the nugget of self-acceptance, then it's much more likely that a person with self-acceptance is going to have to present a more synthesized presentation, and therefore might be more accepted
yes.
just in
Yes.
in general by others, because it's not like other people aren't then going either outwardly or consciously, I'm seeing so many different disparate pieces of this person, I'm confused by this person.
Yeah.
When you're encountering, you can tell when you're encountering a person that has self-acceptance and that integrated synthesized self. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you like them or dislike them, but they're
who they are.
Yeah, they're who they are. They're presenting whole, in a wholeness. I think this might be a little bit of a diversion, but I think that's why sometimes, like animals too, will sense when somebody is not is fractured or separate, kind of different pieces that they can't get a grasp on intuitively, in the way that animals work, dogs in particular.
Energy.
It's that energy that is much more soothing when the energy is a whole synthesized gestalt, if you will.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I think I wanted to just talk about that a little bit, because I feel like in our society, especially right now, I think I've been saying this a lot, but it's not news. It's just that we're a series of contradictions, and I think just as a society, like there are things that we aspire to, but we can't quite get there. We're trying, but there's still a lot of work to do to be able to truly reflect who we want to be outwardly, to be that person, to start with ourselves and then be able to contribute to something that is healing.
So maybe acknowledging, because when I think of contradictions, I don't think that, like, I don't really think of aspiring to things and not quite making it as a contradiction.
Well, I let me rephrase that. I think when the actions don't match up with what you're saying that you want to do,
Then that's more of an overt
that's a
contradiction.
contradiction.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
That's different than just like, oh, I'm aspiring to this, but I'm not quite there yet.
No, we're actively doing things that.
Then if it's an active, yeah.
Yeah, we're saying like these are the things that we believe in. These are the things we're valuing. But when you look around,
The actions do not.
it is not reflective of how somebody should be acting like that, or how we as a society should be acting. And the good news is
I've
there's
noticed-
always another day.
I've noticed you've corrected yourself for the past couple of months. Every time Chris says "but" in a conversation, she always says not "but" and.
Yeah, but just sounds like you've totally negated what you just said.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that. I've been very conscious of speaking in a way, because I do believe that we are creators and
We're synthesizers.
and our words have power. So it's with that, in that spirit, that I've been more conscious of doing that. Okay, wow. I think that was a good little discussion there. We are coming up on our time's up, though. It looks like
Time's Up. Wasn't that one of those political things?
that is. Yeah, that is one of those things.
I can't remember what it was.
Harvey
Something
Weinstein.
like that was the Me Too thing. Was Harvey Weinstein? I think was Me Too.
Well,
Time's
that
Up.
and
They were
time's
two,
up.
yes.
Time's up for that. So
Anywho, let's end on a more positive note
Right.
than that.
yeah, listen. I was just saying, we're signing off.
Yes.
Do you have anything else to add,
No.
my sweet?
Just enjoy the synthesis where you find it in your life. Synthesizing.
Amen.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.